desks, small clusters. You get to be good friends with your pod mates. So, yeah.
Sorry, what did you say? Hey, Aaron, when you say where it's like right in there or something, or
the executive team sits right back where the,
I'm sorry.
see the sort of the glowing lamp.
Yeah.
It's right there.
oh, they're kind of there. Okay. No. Here. That's the one that.
So you can see, so this is a pretty good place to see, I think, the character of the building before we moved in. This was, right before we moved in, this was actually they were doing materials research as far as we can gather. So there were a lot of labs all the way through here. This actually was a much more sort of closed-in space. When we first got here, there were sort of pipes sticking out of the floor, tubes on the ceiling to transport gas around. And so we really liked the character of the place. We really liked the idea that this was a place where research was happening, where things were getting invented, where real work was getting done. So we wanted to preserve a lot of that feeling once we got in here. So we tried to make sure that we reused a lot of the stuff that was already in the building. So you can see the crane machine when we got here was actually sort of sitting a little further off to the side when we moved it here, so it could be sort of in the middle of this social space here. All the cabinets you see over here are actually recycled from all the labs that were here before. We just sort of stripped them, painted them, and put them back in. That's really great, sort of like keeping some of that character. And then as we were sort of restoring the space, we tried to make sure that we just didn't clean up too much of the ceiling. You can see the columns are sort of beat up and unpainted. We just wanted to sort of keep that character of the space that got used and heavily before we got here. So that's some of what we were going for.
So this video is a little more. So while we're going to have it
development products, more work that the users see directly.
So maybe up front.
This is where I work. One of the things we're trying to do in this building is sort of in line with the way we like to actually get to work on our product. Is we like to try small things and see how they work before we do them in a larger scale. So this is a good example. This desk here is something we're trying out just to see how we like it, how it works for us. It's a desk designed for collaboration. So you can see it's all the legs are sort of moved into the center, so it's easier to roll up chairs next to people and have impromptu meetings. And so we're trying this. We're going to live with it for a while and see if we like it, and then roll it out to a much bigger scale if it's worth doing. But we do this in the product a lot. We'll roll things out in a small scale, figure out what we actually think about it, and learn by actually getting real data, and then get bigger. So we've done this all around the building, lots of little small experiments to learn what we really want in a building. Because this building is really for us an experiment. It's a temporary space. It's not going to last us forever. And so we wanted to make sure that during the time we're here we can learn quite a bit about what the building is like, what sort of building we want for ourselves going forward.
I'm not sure what I see is different about the set.
It has a lot of nice features, like these panels between the desks actually pull off, so you can actually just gather a meeting around the desk. Yeah, it's a little less flexible, but it's a little easier to sort of gather around multiple people. The other desk, it's hard to pull up two chairs next to each other. That's the main thing to sort of meet. This I think is sort of a good spot. You can sort of see that this is sort of the best view of our open plan here, and this is just really the way we like the company to run. Is sort of open access to pretty much anyone at the company. So we really wanted this to be the sort of place where you can walk up to anyone. You're constantly running into people that you don't work directly with, and you always can sort of see what's going on. As you sort of walk by desks, you can sort of see what people are working on and just get a feel of what the company is about at that moment. So this is pretty great. When we moved in, this was a sea of cubes, sort of up to here. So you would sort of wander around. You couldn't really get a feel for how great this big, huge open space was. And so we have some pretty incredible photos of just like the walls and walls of cubes stretching across this whole thing. So it's really great to pull those out for the first time and see what a real big, huge open space looks like. And it's been fun to sort of like, I think, get used to this space.
So basically, all cubes.
Yeah, and it was just a sea of cubes, yeah. Narrow little hallways. There were actually mirrors at the intersections of the hallways to keep it from running into people at the intersections. So.
That's like some newsrooms, actually, which are open like this.
Yeah.
Yep. Because they're cheap. They're not. It's not done with thought. Well, you've done it.
Oh no. Well, I think there are two dynamics that are at play here. One, it's cheap, is the first thing. The other thing is we really believe that bottom-up organizations that are really about sort of pooling collective intelligence, work better with an open plan because you have that serendipity of running into people, of conversations out in the open, of just overhearing things as you work. And that makes a huge difference to us. It sort of helps us circulate ideas and make sure we're actually capturing the intelligence of the group.
So explain the conference room names. Donkey Kong Chutney?
So the story is we decided to have the different groups name the conference rooms around them. So the engineers, of course, very methodically in an engineering-like fashion, constructed a whole vote, a bunch of different categories, runoffs, everything, and including down to like tie-breaking rules and everything. Even with the tie-breaking rules, there was a dead tie between video games theme and condiments theme. And so they decided to split the difference and combine the two together. So all the rooms downstairs are a combination of video games and condiments in the same name, which is pretty great, I think. I think upstairs we have, Nobel Prize winners, countries, 80s rock bands, and downstairs we have characters from The Wire, and then the video games condiments theme.
Where is that? How's that? It's on the map or something?
Yeah, I think we have some maps with the names on them, yeah.
And this is like your transport.
Transport. This has been sort of a part of Facebook culture, sort of like the razor scooters were of, of the .com era. They're called ripsticks. You can sort of paddle around on them. Quick transportation. Engineers like it because they're efficient. If you know how to use it. It's sort of a rite of passage to learn how to use these to get around. So you'll see sort of you know who the new people in the office are because they're sort of struggling to learn how to get around on these.
Did you mention, are people in the store any particular set of people?
Sure. So up here we have sales. On the back half we have user operations. They take care of our users, answer their requests for help.
Because people are taking notes, I need to know whether the tour is off there.
No, the tour's on.
The tour is on.
Downstairs, below baggage point to the hotel.
No, you see them, the names on the next to the rooms.
Okay, I'll check. Yeah, and I'll check through there for you.
So this is a space that's under construction, and I think it's sort of pretty emblematic of what we were trying to do with the building. We didn't want to move into this building and really just from the top down decide how the building should be used. We really wanted to sort of create an empty space that could be rearranged, was really flexible, so we could sort of learn over time what sort of building we want to live in. So this space is designed intentionally to be flexible. All this furniture right here is actually movable. You can just sort of take it and slide it around. It's on casters, so it'll move. So we're expecting this stuff to wander over time. This space we're expecting to just discover what it's going to be used for over time. If you actually sort of look around, you'll see people are just starting to put stuff up on the walls wherever they want. Our policy is, unless you want to put a hole through the wall, you really don't have to ask. Just do what you think makes sense. And so we really want people to own this space. We don't want this to be a space that's like, run by Facebook and employees just show up and work here. We really want this to be a space that everyone sort of considers their own. And so just, being super flexible about letting people do whatever they want to the space, whatever makes sense to them is a big part of what we're about. You see a lot of that spirit downstairs. We actually had a late night hackathon, which is sort of our way of just, cranking on ideas for one night every so often. And part of the theme of the night was hack the building. And so a lot of guys, you'll see stencils around the building that say hack. A bunch of guys sort of went around and painted a bunch of stuff up, painted stuff on the ground,
Like
put
what
a bunch
could be,
of lights.
like ideas, what they'd like to see, you mean, or ideas?
Well, no, people actually just went and did it.
Oh, just anything.
They spray painted the walls. They
Hack the building.
Posters up everywhere. So yeah, really we just want people to sort of tell us what the building is for and help us get that by doing it themselves. So so this space is evolving. We're actually going to put up a canopy of fabric here, so it's going to be this nice sort of enclosed room, movable furniture, and it's sort of interesting to see how the use of the space has evolved over the month we've been here. So let's walk this direction.
How much did I miss?
See, here's a stencil. These are sort of hidden all over the building.
Yeah, he's still coming. Yeah, it's not sure. Inviting
You know the square footage of the building?
I think it's 100. I could be wrong on this, but it's a little noisy in here, so we won't stay too long. This is sort of our largest social gathering space. It's our cafeteria. It was designed by by Chef Joseph and his team. They designed our previous kitchen before this. It's really one of the greatest things about working here. Our food is so good it spoils us. Most of us, this is our best meal of the day often when we're here. It's also our public meeting space, so we had to have this be serve two purposes at once. So the kitchen can actually be closed up at night while we have public meetings, and we can drop the screen and have all these meetings here. And then we can sort of pull the screens up, pull the door up in front of the kitchen, and then we can go back to having this be a cafe for the company. So that's it. As you can see, even this late at night, a lot of people are Oh yeah. We just want people to not worry about things like meals, and especially being so far away from everywhere else. It's just great that people have no excuse not to come up and meet someone new from the company or have a good sort of deep conversation with them. So, because
That's part of your job, is to invent the job, right?
part of my job is to not really understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, so we're just going to sort of circle around the back here. This is one of the things that attracted us to the space, is just the outdoors. Especially after being in downtown Palo Alto for such a long time, it was, really attractive to come here and see, that we could actually just get outside and relax with each other outside. It's really great.
Six. The people on that first floor.
I got all the best. I got all the best gigs.
Why is there a penis neighbor on the basketball court? Did the crime occur there?
No, somebody got slaughtered. No, one of your saying along.
I wasn't planning on covering this. I may have gotten that heads up. It's off the record, except that you're going to write it.
So this is sort of our building. I can answer questions at this point, I guess. And if anyone's wondering about anything.
How many people here? It sounds like close to 900.
I think we have over 900 at the company.
There's over 700 or so. Okay.
700.
Yeah, I recognize it.
700, sorry.
Yeah, we have offices in. How many? We have offices in.
What? Writing something down. What are you writing down?
700 people here.
That's like
Including overseas.
I know, but I'll forget, I think I have enough.
What's
I can't keep everything in my brain.
Or they're doing 20% layoffs.
We have a
I read
horseshoe
that
pit.
somewhere.
I think it's been.
What does it feel like now? I mean, given that you're obviously in a cramped space, running out of room now, are you like...
We're feeling
not
pretty good
worried
about the
for-
amount
yeah,
of space we
yeah.
have now. In downtown, we were really cramped. We were down to like 100 square feet a person, which is really
Yeah.
low compared to industry
What
average.
you want, yeah.
And so we're back up to a decent number here, and everyone's, I think, feeling pretty comfortable and spread out now. We tend to fit a lot more people in per square foot than most companies do. Average for a technology company is slightly above 200 square feet a person. We usually end up getting down to about 120 square feet a person. So we like to fit people in really close. It means we have problems with parking whenever we move into a building. We always have to retrofit the bathrooms to upgrade those. But it's good. The density really means that you always have a really high energy situation by fitting people in so close.
How big is the building in square foot?
I think it's 137,000 square feet, but I don't know exactly. I think that's right.
So I can't read this, Rob. You're gonna have to clean
The largest building we had previously, I think, was 190,000 square feet, or not 100, or 19,000 square feet. So this is quite a step up from our previous largest building.
So where does the extra space go? I mean, it looks like people work just as pretty much crowded as they were
Right.
at their workspace.
So I think the extra space has gone into conference rooms. We never had enough before, and we have enough now. We've reserved some public spaces like kitchens and just other hangout areas, and then the cafe takes up quite a bit of the space. So that's mostly it.
This was an old HP R&D building, is that?
As far as I understand, it was HP for a while, and then Agilent got spun off, and then Agilent took the building. I think the building sat empty for a couple years before we moved in. So, yeah,
I
so
think you guys are renting it for people.
you know,
Renting it or did you buy it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we're commenting on that. But, yeah.
What are they gonna pay for this?
Future advertising revenue.
And
You could give the previous owner, big display of us. And,
any more questions?
Do you actually get that feedback from the employees? That I think you mentioned that the closer quarters generates more energy or something like that. I mean, is there any pushback on that? Like, come on, they need more.
It's a balance. We got sort of, we found that people were sorting into two pretty clear camps, people that just wanted a little more privacy and
Yeah.
people that really liked the intensity of being out in the open.
Yeah.
And so we actually, here we accommodate the people that wanted some quiet in enclosed offices. So we have, I think about, we have space for about, I think 50 engineers in enclosed offices. I think we're probably only using about half of that right now. So it's an experiment, and we're going to see how it goes. And if it goes well, we'll do more of it in the future.
It looks like you give engineers the largest displays you can possibly give them for the most part.
I think we give everyone the largest display we could possibly give them. Yeah.
Yeah, does everyone get a second display?
Second display? I don't know if we have an
I think
official
it's based
policy.
on actually like requests if people want the extra
Yeah.
display, they can ask for it.
And they get it?
Something then.
They get it? 30 inch? 30 inches? Or
Yeah, I mean whatever we can accommodate at the time. They're, I mean some people really like to have two screens. I personally only like to have one. So it's sort of up.
Where are people parking? There aren't nearly enough spots.
Yeah, well there's I think we have space for 400 or so spots here, and we also have space down 1050 page mill.
do people have a choice of what kind of computer they make a Mac on?
Yeah, they can choose between the Mac.
How about Linux?
We'll let people choose the hardware they want, and if they want to reinstall the OS and put Linux on there, they can do that. Yeah, it's by choice.
Thanks.
More questions? We can head back upstairs.
Know you by the